Hello and welcome to Ask Nutritionist Deepa's Real People, Real Story video segments, where you get to meet real people who have lost weight, dramatically lowered their A1C, reverse their diabetes, lower their cholesterol, get off of medications, and all by eating food. Today, I have Laura Fisher, who again reversed her diabetes, got off of multiple medications, namely Ozempic, and and have lost tons of weight. So she is here to tell us her story and inspire us, because she is of course real people, real person, but for me she's my real hero, because it's because of people like Laura I get up refreshed, and I do what I do, and I love what I do. So here we go. Laura, welcome, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
So, Laura, let's get to the point. What health issues you had? Almost just a year ago.
Yes, just a year ago, March of 2023, we
Correct.
started. At that point, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes, as well as acid reflux and a diastolic dysfunction heart condition.
And how was your energy?
Pretty nil, but non-existent.
Non-existent. Okay. And what medications, what different things you were trying to address
So
these
over the
issues?
course of a few years, starting with for the type 2 diabetes, metformin was the standard. And then each year would increase the amount that I was taking. And even that was difficult to get used to when I first started. I didn't want to travel. I worked from home, thank God, because the side effects from the metformin for probably 2 months to 3 months was debilitating diarrhea. And I literally could not leave the house. So once that kind of got through my system, then it was always the increasing made it worse as well. Then probably, I want to say it was 2022, I started to decide to see an endocrinologist instead of having my PCP at that time manage my diabetes, because it wasn't getting any better. My A1Cs were going up instead of down, and all she was doing was increasing my metformin. So at that point, they put me on Ozempic, and then going to my high blood pressure, I was on 3 blood pressure medications just to get me into a normal, somewhat range. I never got my, with the medications, my resting heart rate was always in the 80s, was always high. And I think that had a lot to do with why I kept feeling exhausted too. I kept feeling like I was racing, but I wasn't doing anything. And that also had my anxiety level really high, with my blood pressure being high and my heart rate being high. And then I was on an acid reflux medication, and that was about it for meds.
Okay. And then probably your doctor started you on Ozempic. Tell us a little bit of background and journey on Ozempic.
So you start at a really low dose of giving yourself that medicine. Initially, it started to make me nauseated, and not want to eat for at least, it just made me burp. It made me very nauseated for at least a few days from the first shot to the next shot. I forget how many weeks you would go in between. I think it's every 2 weeks.
Every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on, tolerance of person.
Right. But it was needing to be increased every time. And as I increased, the symptoms got worse. Along with that came stomach aches, bad gas, and I think the worst was constipation. At one point, when I was near the highest level of the Ozempic that had made it to, before I finally said, I can't do this anymore, was I didn't go to the bathroom for 10 days. So
Wow.
that meant I was taking other things to help me try and go to the bathroom. And it was just a hot mess.
And did it help you with your A1C? Was your diabetes improving? I'm sure you lost weight, but did you hit a plateau? Tell us what were your results?
Okay, so my A1C, the highest I'd gotten was probably 6.8, and that was in 2022, beginning of 2022. They put me on the Ozempic near the end of 2022 or probably I was on it probably for almost 6 months, I believe. And I had, and that was in 2022, it was 6.8. I think I got down to 6.1 on the Ozempic.
And
And I
any
didn't
weight
lose
loss?
not too much weight, maybe 5-6 pounds, but definitely the A1C went down.
Okay. But A1C went down at the cost of your health. I mean, you were not enjoying
No,
life, food. And during this time, were you watching what you were eating?
I
Were
was
you
following
eating
the diabetic diet,
diabetic diet, which is the low carb diet?
low carb diet, no sugar. And yeah, I gave up pasta, I gave up rice, I gave up potatoes, I gave up everything carb related as I could.
Correct.
And it seemed like throughout this journey, I would do something and it would work for just such a short period of time. And then it wouldn't do anything anymore. I could be doing the same thing. And that's even with the diabetic diet, it seemed to work at first, but then it just stopped. And it was kind of like any other diet that I tried, intermittent fasting. I didn't do keto. I forget this other diet I tried. Weight Watchers, I gained weight on Weight Watchers. So gave that one up. But yeah, it would seem to work for a short period of time and then the weight would come back on. And it seemed like my A1C would just be getting worse anyway. So it was just kind of this cyclical thing.
So technically speaking, you were a good patient for the doctor. You are taking your medications on time. You were trying to eat the diabetic diet, which is defined by American Diabetic Association. You are watching your carbs. You are conscious. It's not like you go to the fast food places and gorging yourself with fast food and pizzas. I mean, you were trying to do the diet to your best abilities while
Right.
taking all these medications. However, lack of energy, A1C not budging that much, weight loss coming to a plateau, and all these digestive health issues. I mean, where is all this? What's left in life, right? If you are
Right.
just the feeling of despair, and I think frustration. So that being said, what was the turning point? Why did you decide to kind of look outside of your traditional medical treatment and look for the solution?
So it started probably from the Ozempic at that point. My brother was I think he was a type 1.5, and he'd been on insulin for years. And all I kept seeing was, I am taking more Ozempic, more metformin, that I saw my path as I'm going to be on insulin. And I did not want to be on insulin. I did not want to be subject to having to, live by that. I saw how he was and how hard it was to, you know, give yourself insulin and judge how much you need for your diet. And it was awful. And I just saw that was where I was heading. And I didn't want to get there. And I had a new granddaughter. And I said, I want to be around for a while. And I felt like I was seeing a cardiologist, endocrinologist, my regular PCP. None of them would talk to each other. And, I'd have to ask this one, can I take this medication? Because this is, the endocrinologist would want me to take something for my cholesterol, but then I'd have to, check with the cardiologist. Nobody would talk to each other. And it was so frustrating. And I, feel blessed that I was introduced to Dr. Rick Seguil, who's more of he's an MD, but is an integrative medicine as well. And I started my journey with him, which led me to you. And we, started working with him in January of 2023. And, doing all this lab work and realizing where my status was and all the medicine that I was on, we just said, okay, what are we going to tackle? I said, my goal is to get off all this stuff. I just didn't want to be on it anymore. I said, what do I need to do? And
big shout out to Dr. Rick.
Yep. And he said, well, I'm going to introduce you to someone, Deepa. And he said, she's going to interview you. You take an interview of her and see if you guys meet, and this is something you want to do. So we did. We met in, I think, March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much in March we met. And, just like, what you are again a typical example of what I called as a ping-ponged healthcare system for the patient. Patient just like a ball, he just get tossed around. Nobody is paying real attention to what's going on. Nobody is trying to connect the dots. Nobody is addressing nutrition, physical activity, joyful movements, sleep, stress, community support, and abstinence from addictive substances, right? But these are the core treatment modalities. And when I meet my patients, it's a mutual collaboration, right? You were asking me questions and I'm also evaluating to make sure, because just like you, I am also committed to take you off of those medications.
Yeah.
We are in the business of reversing disease. So you asked me a few questions, and what was your hesitation when we?
Honestly, I thought, you're crazy. How am I supposed to do this with food? How is food going to change my health? I really, really didn't get that connection at all. And I remember I was leaving for a trip that day after our conversation. You said, okay, start today. If you just try it, start today. And I hadn't even made my decision yet, right? And you said, on your way to your daughters, if you need to stop and get something, get a baked potato. I said, I can't eat a baked potato. I'm a diabetic. And then you were, giggled. And I think you said, if the diabetic diet worked, why do we have an epidemic of type 2 diabetics going on insulin? And that was like, ding, ding. I don't want to go on insulin. And okay. And then I said, can I eat pasta? And you said, yes. Can I eat rice? And you said, yes. And I went, well, let me think about this. And those were my, I'm Italian. I gave up so much food that, I didn't eat anymore. And I spoke with a really good friend of mine who is a nurse. She's the one who put me in touch with Dr. Seguil. And I told her about our conversation. And she said, Laura, what do you have to lose? Give it a year. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. She goes, I have a feeling it'll work. And she's like, just try it. So after, I came back and I said, all right, I'm in.
Exactly. So, and did it take you a year even to reverse things? No. So,
No.
How fun was those sessions? That you are eating what you want to eat, really. Your soul food, pasta and rice and potato and vegetables, and you are a good cook. and and watching those blood sugars
Yes.
initially bouncing up and down, and then you would freak out. Oh, Deepa, should I eat? Did I eat lot of rice and or pasta? And I would say, no, don't freak out. So, how important was the whole meal logging and chatting? How important was that?
Yeah, I think it was very hard at first. You know, you had said to me, try giving up, I think, two things. And I gave up red meat. And then I went, oh, I'll do dairy because I don't like milk. Well, didn't realize it was cheese too. In my mind, I didn't think about it. And I love cheese. And then was still that it was just literally the first week. And I'm thinking, I'll just make some chicken. And I went, why am I bothering? I'm going to have to give it up. I just went cold turkey.
Hmm.
But then it was difficult because it was like, what am I going to make?
Hmm.
So I think the real important thing for me was to find good recipes, good staple recipes, like just at least 4 or 5 that I can make in a week that fit the criteria that you had given me.
Hmm.
And then I think you gave me something to help me stock my pantry and my freezer and meal planning, meal prepping. That became very important, and it made it so much easier because every day I'd be like, okay, I don't eat processed food anymore. What am I going to grab to eat? And, so now I make, lots of things to have in the fridge that I can combine at any point and make a meal. And, I, like you said, I like to cook. So, this has become, I enjoy it. And the food tastes so good to me now. Actually, the smell of chicken the other day being cooked around me kind of repulsed me, believe it or not.
That's true. Because your taste buds are now used to eating the
Right.
natural flavors of food. So,
Right.
how long did it take us to ditch the Ozempic?
The Ozempic was, well, I think we lower it down. I think I got it lowered down, and then I was off within 3 months, 4 months. Yeah,
At the
at the
most, I would
most.
say. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have
I
been
mean,
in.
you were
We
so
started
about
lowering it down much sooner.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So I had the Libra to be able to track
Mm.
my levels, and that was really helpful to see how my body reacted to food. And then I could actually start seeing my pancreas working. Like you said, I would call you and be like, okay, this really spiked me. And you're like, it's okay. You're supposed to spike. Did it come down? It's when it hangs up there that it's not good. And I said, no, it's coming down. And you're like, your pancreas is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
We are alive when blood sugar goes up and when they come down. Whoever
Yes.
says that, oh, the blood sugar shouldn't rise, well, that happens when we are dead. So, uh, so let human body function the way it's supposed to function, like I say. So then, what other benefits you saw? How much weight have you lost? How low your blood sugar went down to? Tell us a little bit about your successes.
So it took some time for the weight loss was not so much weight loss. I want to say I probably started at about 160 and I'm down to 145.
Hmm.
And I've been down as low as 140.
Hmm.
Um, but what I lost was fat. I mean, I was in a size 12. I'm now in a size 4.
Wow, I didn't know that that
Yeah.
it went down, that you are
Yeah.
melting. So,
I mean, I had to buy 2 wardrobes during that time because I had dropped, and then I had to get again because I dropped some more. But it was more the inches and not the weight so much on the scale. It was just I could see it come off my back. I could see it come off my belly, my hips. I mean, my legs. Um, yeah, I'm back to having really skinny legs again.
wow. So you went down from size 12 to size 4 without starving,
No,
without without poisoning yourself, because the way Ozempic works is it reduces your appetite, because body treats the GLP-1 molecule as a poisonous molecule. And when there is poison in the system, the first thing body does is to slow down the metabolism and try to get rid of it from the liver and kidneys. And that's exactly what is happening. So that's why the weight loss or lowering A1C on these GLP-1 medications is just not a right way to do it. This is not how we are supposed to take care of our bodies. What actually worked with Laura is really eating right kind of food, and who was not even, I wouldn't even say right quantities, because I didn't ask you to measure anything. There
No,
was
I wasn't counting any calories. I wasn't counting my carbs. I wasn't looking at sugars. I was just eating whole food. And I can even tell you, I was at my mother's and I was cooking over there for myself. And she I sat down. She goes, "You're going to eat all of that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, and she goes, "I don't understand how that works." She goes, "You're eating all that food." I'm like, "Yes, but it's vegetables. It's, good for you food."
And Laura, I know that a lot of people feel that, hey, if you're eating or if you're having this kind of lifestyle, you are sitting somewhere in your bubble and you are not traveling and you don't have friends and you are not enjoying life. I know you are, and I myself too. So tell us a little bit about how you navigate through the social situations when you travel, and the discussions that we used to have related to that.
Yeah, because I think I was worried because I did a trip abroad and I'm like, "Oh, gosh, how am I going to eat out there? Because I'm not going to be able to cook for myself."
Hmm.
But even before then, it was, how to navigate at the restaurant. And you could always find something on the menu and they're always accommodating to make it. I'm not a salad person, so I don't like to eat salads out. So I usually will be able to find something that they can make for me, or just take the meat out, you know. Yes, the oil part is a little hard because you can't control how someone cooks it in the restaurant or in someone's home. But like I'll go to my daughter's and she's be like, my one daughter is pescatarian.
Hmm.
So, and let me tell you, my kids gave me so much grief. They thought there was no way in hell I was going to do this. No way. They thought you're not going to succeed. And I'm like, well, thank you very much. But I think I gave them grief when they went vegan or pescatarian, right?
Correct.
Because I'm like, where are you going to get your protein from? As a mother, at
Yeah.
young age, they were wanting to do it. Um, but, I can go to someone's home and, you know, easily just eat what is there, that I can have. I mean, you know, pasta, I just, if they, don't put the sauce on it, sometimes I just eat it that way with, you know, the marinara sauce is always easy, especially holidays. I mean, with my family, the food that they make,
Correct.
I'm
Correct.
always able to eat and feel full. So,
So
you
what
know,
motivates you to keep going?
oh gosh, my health. I mean, when I see my A1C now, and I mean, I am off of every single medication. I did not realize that food could even. No, I didn't. My exercise regime didn't change much. I walked a lot, and I still walk a lot. I've incorporated yoga within the last few months, but my blood pressure is in normal range and not on medication. And my resting heart rate is in the 60s, where it used to be in the 80s. And that just, you know, like I
Right.
said, I thought you were crazy telling me food was going to be able to change, and it really does.
It does.
So, my mother keeps asking me, "So when are you going to go back to eating meat?" And I said, "I'm not. I said, Mom, it works. It works for me. I'm healthy. I'm reversed everything that ails me at this point. And, why would I go back to the way it was and introduce things that are not good for me? So,
Absolutely. And I feel that this is for those who are out there feeling little unsure about it. This is the best investment of time, money, and energy that you can do
mhm,
while enjoying it. Yes, the first few weeks are hard, but first few weeks are hard when we learn how to bike, when we have to go and get up and go to the university, when we went to college. First few weeks are hard for anything. But
yep.
I feel that when somebody is sick, you have years of hardship ahead of you. But with this, but with changing your lifestyle and using nutrition as medicine, the first few weeks are hard, and then you have years of happiness and joyous life ahead of you. So yes, the beginning is hard, but it's our choice which way to go so that hardship will be over. So, Laura, that being said, what is your message to some real people with real issues uh, out there and who are kind of still sitting there on the sideline and wondering what they should do?
Uh, I was definitely, not thinking this would work. Watched a couple shows. I think we talked about Forks Over Knives,
Correct.
and I forget what other one you had told me to watch.
Game Changers is another one.
Yeah, and it did give me some insight of why what Deepa was telling me, is proven to work. And I can say that in a short period of time, the difference that it has made for me, um, you know, to be able to have energy, to be able to get up off the floor. I struggled getting up off the floor, when I was playing with my granddaughter. And, I just went on a ski trip to Wyoming. Never thought I'd be able to ski again. And I'm doing mountains and things I, haven't done in years because my health is better. I didn't have a problem breathing while I was there. I thought because of the altitude, you know, normally the high blood pressure would definitely have gotten to me. And it works. All I can tell you is it works. And what you spend in this short period of time, you will save in the cost of the medication that you're going to have for the rest of your life. And
Yes.
that to me was a big savings. I mean, I look at it now. I just, you know, love going, nope, no, don't need that anymore. I don't need that anymore.
No, that's fantastic. So, real people, real heroes. What can I say? And Laura is not an exception. That's how many people, many patients who take charge of their life basically, and not and decide. I mean, get out of that ping pong medical system and and really commit to making a change and get the support. I mean, we between Dr. Rick and myself, you had all the support that you needed on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, I did. I mean, you spoke to him and said, okay, how fast can we get her off this Ozempic? And he
Correct.
just said, let's wait a couple weeks, see how you do. Let's show me your numbers. It was a constant communication of where my sugars were, where my blood pressures were. I was tracking everything. And just seeing it was enough to keep me going.
Absolutely. So there you have it, Laura Fisher, real person but real hero. So thank you, Laura. Keep
Well,
up the
you're my
good
hero,
work. Of
Deidre.
course, we will be stay in touch, and thank you for all the hard work and your commitment to your health and your support to me.
Thank you.